Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. Edie DeVilbus. My work intersects workplace culture, individual well-being, and leadership development because I believe that the we depends on the me. My company name is Shape Good Habits, and I'm here to talk to you today about compassion fatigue when you know you need help. Now, you may have come to a realization that you need some help on your own. Compassion fatigue is a cluster of symptoms that include somatic ailments. So your body hurts all the time. You're having more headaches and stomach aches and just not feeling well. And there's cynicism and negativity and short-temperedness and excessive guilt and being checked out. So they call it dissociation, where you're just not quite in your body. And addictions and other kind of really negative things that are going on in our lives. And sometimes we recognize that we need help. It can be through somebody else's words or something we've read, or just a sense that it's wrong, something's wrong. Or somebody else may be telling you, you need to get help, you need some counseling, you need to do something different, this is not okay. And either case, if you need help, the really tough thing is that you're the one who has to access it. You're the one who has to go and find the help. You're the one who has to make the calls. Now, a lot of places have EAPs, Employee Assistance Programs, that can make it easier, but you still have to make the call. You still have to be the one to reach out for help. And so it's hard because we don't know where to get help. We don't know how to get help. And we have a deep, abiding fear that the help we get will not be the right help. It is really hard when we're suffering to trust a stranger, which, unless you already have a counselor, they are all strangers to you. It's really hard. So how do you get help? That's what I want to talk about today. I talked with Tracy Eldridge at APCO a few weeks ago, and she detailed a brilliant strategy for how to find a counselor, and I want to share that with you. It is, you look up Psychology Today, www.psychologytoday.com, and there's a search bar on Find a Counselor, and you put in your zip code and you get a list of counselors, and you read through their bios and their scope of practice and decide on 2 or 3 and email them. And if they say that they're not taking new patients, which in COVID time is probably happening a lot more than we want it to, then you email them and say, well, who can you recommend? Who might be taking new patients? And see if you can find somebody that way. One of the benefits of COVID has been opening up the door to telemedicine. Telemedicine is not ideal in a counseling situation, but it is something that can help. So you might be able to find someone that is not local. Preferably you want to be in person, but if you can't do that, you do what you can. Now, talk therapy is not always the best because talk therapy depends on talking about what's going on. I know for me, I didn't realize a lot of what was going on. I didn't understand how deeply embedded some of the pain that I was experiencing was until I had been in counseling for a while. And so it's really hard to just talk about it. And there are strategies and tools that can help. EMDR, eye movement desensitization and restructuring, is one of the gold standard for trauma therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help. Dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. But there are other modalities that are coming into play that are exciting. Horse therapy, art therapy, music therapy. And then there's self-help. There's things that we can do. The risk is in doing them instead of seeking help. But in the meantime, there's things that we can do. Certainly the strategy of 5 minutes of silence a day can help us develop the margin that we need to calm ourselves down. We can practice box breathing every day. Box breathing is you inhale through your nose to a count of 5, and you hold your breath for a count of 5. Exhale through your mouth to a count of 5. Hold your breath for a count of 5. And do that 3 or 4 or 5 times. And it helps to regulate the anxiety. There are things that we can do. I know when I was struggling at one point, I was having muscle cramps. The back of my legs, the muscle would cramp. And a friend of mine referred me to a therapeutic massage therapist. Anyway, he had a practice where he was helping people with emotional problems. And I went and saw him, and he gave me a massage that helped release the cramps in my legs. And we talked about strategies. If you're having cramps, drink more water. Keep a glass of water next to your bed if you tend to be crampy. And it helps most of the time. As we talked about it, I realized that the cramps in my legs were because I wanted to run away and I couldn't run. And so our bodies do hold pain. They do hold our anxiety. And so sometimes a massage can release some of that. So there's different ways to approach it. If you can't sit still for 5 minutes, be mindful as you walk for 5 minutes. Moving meditation is powerful. If you have a labyrinth in your area, that can be a really powerful tool for you. There's a lot we can do for ourselves, but I want you to know, on the other side of getting help, there is life, there is joy, there is a return to who we were. We can't get 100% back, but we weren't going to be the same anyway. We change every day whether we want to or not. But we can get back to the goodness and wholeness of who we were. And we get back to it with greater understanding and greater compassion and greater self-love. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you need me, you can reach out to me. And in any case, I invite you to sign up for my newsletter through this link.